The 2027 Ford Ranger is making headlines, and one number is grabbing everyone's attention: 405 horsepower. Welcome back to Cars Review. Here's the thing though, the interesting question isn't whether the Ranger can make 405 horsepower. It already does. The real question is whether Ford is carrying that Raptor powertrain into 2027 unchanged, or giving it an update. That 405 horsepower figure currently belongs to the twin-turbocharged 3-liter V6 found in the Ranger Raptor, paired with 430 pound-feet of torque. Ford has not issued an official statement confirming exactly what changes for 2027, so treat the specifics as unconfirmed until the automaker says otherwise. Here's what we do know with more confidence. Reporting suggests the standard Ranger lineup for 2027 sticks close to its current formula. The base engine is expected to remain the turbocharged 2.3-liter four-cylinder, currently rated at 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Whether Ford gives it a power bump for 2027 remains unclear. Above that, a twin-turbocharged 2.7-liter V6 is expected to return as the mid-tier option, currently rated at 315 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. This engine has historically been reserved for the XLT and Lariat trims, and reporting suggests that pattern continues. Then there's the Raptor. If Ford carries that 405 horsepower Raptor setup into 2027, it would once again sit at the top of the Ranger lineup, and this could put the Ranger Raptor among the most powerful mid-size trucks in America. If Ford carries the current setup over, torque would likely remain around 430 pound-feet. There are also rumors of a plug-in hybrid Ranger using the 2.3-liter EcoBoost with an electric motor. Some reports have speculated about more than 350 combined horsepower and possible electric-only driving, but Ford has not confirmed those figures or even confirmed that this powertrain is coming to the U.S. Ranger. So here's the real question. Is 405 horsepower actually new for the 2027 Ranger? Or is Ford simply carrying the current Raptor powertrain into another model year? And if Ford does make changes, could the Ranger Raptor be getting even more power? So if 405 horsepower already exists on today's Ranger Raptor, what's actually new for 2027? Current information points to the 2027 Ranger largely carrying over, rather than receiving the major mid-cycle refresh some online reports have claimed. A true next-generation redesign would be a much bigger change, but there's no need to assume that's coming in 2027. There have been online claims about a revised front fascia, grille, lighting, and wheel designs, but those changes should be treated as unconfirmed. Right now, they remain rumors circulating online rather than verified reporting. Another possibility is Ford bringing its newer digital experience software to the Ranger, replacing the current Sync 4 setup. Ford already uses this newer, Google-based system in other vehicles, but its 2027 Ranger application has not been officially confirmed. Now, about that hybrid rumor we mentioned in Part 1. And there's one rumor we can actually put to bed. The Ranger PHEV is not coming to the United States. Ford has already confirmed that the plug-in hybrid Ranger won't be sold here, even though the model remains available in other global markets. So if you were hoping for a confirmed hybrid Ranger in your driveway, that door appears closed for now. For the Raptor, the picture is much clearer. Car and Driver currently lists the 2027 Ranger Raptor as carrying over unchanged, including its 405 horsepower twin-turbo 3-liter V6 and 430 pound-feet of torque. So the powertrain isn't the headline here, at least not yet. Pricing for the 2027 Ranger hasn't been officially announced yet, but don't expect a dramatic change from the current model's pricing. So here's the real story forming. 405 horsepower isn't new. The styling changes are unconfirmed, the hybrid isn't coming to the US, and the Raptor's engine is staying exactly as it is. So what's actually changing for 2027? The honest answer right now might be, not much. And that's the surprising part of this story. But here's the question that actually matters for buyers. If the 2027 Ranger really is this close to a carryover model, is that enough to compete with rivals who are pushing harder on power, tech, and design? 405 horsepower sounds impressive, until you put it next to what the competition is already offering. Let's see how the Ranger actually stacks up. Start with the Toyota Tacoma. The Tacoma's standard 2.4-liter turbocharged I-Force makes up to 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. But Toyota also offers the I-Force Max Hybrid, pushing output to 326 horsepower and a massive 465 pound-feet of torque. That gives the Tacoma Hybrid 35 pound-feet more torque than the Ranger Raptor, a surprising advantage for a truck that makes 79 fewer horsepower. Next, the Chevrolet Colorado. It uses the 2.7-liter TurboMax engine, producing 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, with up to 7,700 pounds of towing capacity when properly equipped. That's significantly higher than the Ranger Raptor's 5,510-pound maximum, although the standard Ranger lineup has different towing ratings depending on configuration. Then there's the Nissan Frontier, which offers something increasingly rare, a naturally aspirated 3.8-liter V6 with 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. It is also the only truck in this group with a naturally aspirated V6 as standard equipment. For buyers who prefer a conventional powertrain over turbocharging or hybridization, that simplicity could be a real selling point. So where does that leave the Ranger? Among the versions we're comparing here, the Ranger Raptor's 405 horsepower still leads the group in outright horsepower, so the Ranger Raptor wins the horsepower battle. But the Tacoma Hybrid has more torque, the Colorado fights back with serious towing capability, and the Frontier keeps things simple with a naturally aspirated V6. The Ranger's real advantage is the variety of choices: a turbo 4-cylinder, a twin-turbo V6, and the 405 horsepower Raptor at the top of the range. What the Ranger doesn't have, at least based on everything we've covered so far, is a confirmed reason to think 2027 changes that competitive picture. No confirmed styling overhaul, no confirmed U.S. hybrid, and a Raptor engine with its 405 horsepower powertrain currently expected to carry over. So does Ford have something bigger planned that just hasn't leaked yet, or is the 2027 Ranger simply here to hold the line while competitors push forward? So after everything we've covered, is the 2027 Ford Ranger actually worth waiting for? Here's where we landed. The 405 horsepower number that's driving clicks and headlines isn't a new engine. It's the current Ranger Raptor's twin-turbo 3-liter V6, and reporting suggests it's simply carrying over into 2027, largely unchanged. That's not necessarily bad news, it's just not the dramatic reveal the title might suggest. The rest of the lineup appears to be following the same pattern. The turbocharged 2.3-liter 4-cylinder and 2.7-liter V6 are both expected to remain part of the lineup, although Ford hasn't confirmed whether their output or calibration will change. Any styling updates to the front fascia, grille, or lighting remain unconfirmed rumors at this point, not verified changes. And the possible switch to Ford's newer digital experience infotainment system is a real possibility, but Ford hasn't confirmed it specifically for the Ranger yet. One thing is confirmed though: the plug-in hybrid Ranger sold in global markets is not coming to the United States. Ford has already ruled that option out for the U.S. market, so that's one rumor we can rule out entirely. Against the competition, the picture is nuanced. The Ranger Raptor still wins on raw horsepower, but the Tacoma Hybrid counters with more torque. The Colorado counters with a higher max towing rating. And the Frontier offers something none of the others do: a naturally aspirated V6 for buyers who want to avoid turbochargers and hybrid systems altogether. The Ranger's real strength isn't dominating every category, It's giving buyers several different powertrain choices, from the turbo 4-cylinder and twin-turbo V6 to the high-output Raptor. So should you wait for the 2027 Ranger or buy the current model now? If you've been holding out for a major redesign, a confirmed styling overhaul, or a US hybrid option, current information suggests the 2027 model may not be the one you're waiting for. If you specifically want a Ranger Raptor, the 2027 model appears to offer essentially the same 405 horsepower formula already on sale today. And if you simply need a truck now, there may be little reason to delay your purchase solely for 2027. As soon as Ford confirms what's actually changing for 2027, we'll break it down right here on Cars Review. But for now, the biggest takeaway is simple. 405 horsepower isn't the new part. The real question is what Ford changes around it. Which mid-sized truck would you choose over the Ranger? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.